arts and literature.
Suspense. What is the smallest museum you've heard of?
The one at Auburn University of Montgomery.
Okay, I was gonna go with you hear about those little roadside museums on the road. They're like a little house with little knickknacks. But I'm interested. We both went to that school for a year or two. 2 years, yeah, 2 years. You went
What
3.
would you call it?
Didn't you go 3?
Probably like 2.5.
Ah, cool. Yeah. What
Yeah.
was your what's the museum at AUM?
Actually, I think I meant it's like kind of a little art exhibit area. So it's not exactly a museum, but
Yeah, it counts. It's an exhibition of art. We'll call it.
it's an exhibition room, and
right.
it's probably the size of my my living room. So
Gotcha. What is the most distant museum you can think of?
distant museum,
The furthest away from you.
furthest away from me. Well, like geographically, I guess they say that China's on the other side of the world.
Yep.
I guess I could dig into the museum if I was going to do it, like run a caper or something.
All right. Cool. So you're saying China. China is the
Yes,
most
China.
distant.
The country of China.
I
Is a
thought
museum.
as an artist you might throw out an actual Chinese museum, but you're just saying
I-
China. You're saying
Yeah.
you're sure China has museums.
Yeah. I'm relatively sure there's probably one in Beijing somewhere.
All right. So the Museum of Beijing is what we're going with. All right. I can beat both of those. In 1969, Forrest Myers, a New York-based sculptor, decided that NASA should send artwork to the moon. Now, it costs a lot of money to send every little ounce and pound to the moon. They don't do
Right.
much. They don't do much that's not scientific. So he got 6 artists together, and I'll try to read their names. They'll be in the show notes, but Robert Rauschenberg, David Novras, John Chamberlain, Klaus Oldenburg himself, and Andy Warhol. And they each drew a sketch that they wanted to send to the moon. And then they worked with scientists from a group called EAT, Experiments in Art and Technology, to miniaturize these 6 images onto a small 1/4-inch by 1/2-inch ceramic tile that had all 6 images on it. So a little bitty square, a 1/4-inch by a 1/2-inch. And so what's interesting most to me about this is apparently Myers petitioned NASA. He was like, you should send current artwork to the moon. We want to put these pieces of art on the moon, we want an art installation on the moon. And NASA just didn't answer him. They just, which I find funnier than saying no. What he says in an interview is they never actually said no. So since they never responded to his request and the Apollo 12 mission was getting closer, Myers secretly worked with an engineer who was working on the lunar module to get one of the astronauts to smuggle the little ceramic tile on board and attach it to the leg of the lunar lander once it was on the moon.
What I really want to hear is the NASA response to when they find out that this happened, and they're like, we can neither confirm nor deny that there's artwork on the moon. In the hypothetical situation that there is art on the moon, it would be classified and would not be released.
That's funny. I heard a whole, I think it was Radiolab this week. They did a whole podcast on where that phrase comes from.
Yeah, it's the Glomar response.
Yeah.
I heard it too.
Nice. That's funny. I recently got my girlfriend into listening to some podcasts because she started a job where she can listen to podcasts. Mm-hmm. And yesterday she's like, I just listened to this, and this. And it was the exact 5 podcasts I'd listened to on the way to my thing. I was like, me too. I don't know if that means we have more or less to talk about. Because a lot of times I'll come in and be like, I heard this interesting podcast today. And now she does, oh yeah, I heard it. Oh, okay. well,
So, maybe
I have
with
nothing to
once-
offer you. Interesting thing about the neither confirm or deny, sort of no one can actually confirm or deny that this actually happened. Forrest,
So it is hypothetical.
well, Forrest Myers says it happened.
Yeah.
The artist. And he got a telegram a day before the lunar module left saying the ceramic tile was in place and it was a go. But the telegram came from a name that could have been fake, and it's kind of a there was after reading a few articles on this story, I then found a PBS documentary about investigating, trying to figure out whether this actually happened or not, and they actually didn't really come to a full resolution. It seems like it's definitely possible. Apparently, on the outside of the lunar module, there are these blankets, those space blankets.
Yeah.
That we
Right
can-
next to the space ice cream, the Dippin' Dots.
Exactly. Well, they have these layers of space blankets on the outside of the ship. Apparently, it was not known until recently that the astronauts actually smuggled a lot of things. Like, it was totally a secret. Like, this guy revealed it on this PBS documentary. He was like, this has never been told before, and I'm going to reveal it. We actually, and he showed a little pocket where between these blankets, we just shoved anything we wanted to take to the moon. So apparently, it's totally possible that this happened. And according to Forrest Myers, it did happen, but there is some doubt whether this. So it's still kind of up in the air whether this is sitting on the lunar module now, still up on the moon, as a piece of artwork. But so yes, they can neither confirm nor deny. But yeah, apparently all the astronauts just took pictures of their family and little whatever they thought it'd be cool to leave on the moon. They basically smuggled in between these blankets.
See, like as a art person, I think it'd be cool to have like on your resume, especially, places you exhibited. The moon is one of them, but at the same time, it's like no one's ever gonna see it.
Yeah. Well, they made 20. They made 20 of these little tiles. Because since they had already, I guess, had the print, they etched 20 of them, and all the people involved, the scientists who made them and the artists who drew on them, all got a copy of it, and so they still have these things here. Let me see if I can send you a picture. We'll definitely have one in the show notes, so if you want to see one, check it out. Okay, Spence. So here's the Moon Museum. You see that picture?
Yeah.
Two of the artists apparently drew what they look like circuitry. One drew Mickey Mouse, which was apparently what he was drawing a lot of at the time. One drew these intersecting lines. One was known for being a minimalist, and he just drew a line. And then Andy Warhol drew what officially was said was his initials, a stylized version of his initials, AW. But
It strongly resembles a penis.
yes, it strongly resembles a penis. So not only is the first, and some he also said it resembled a rocket ship. It was either his initials or a rocket ship. But that to me does not look like a rocket ship at all.
I think if it was he sent it. It's in a downward trajectory, which I think makes it not seem like a rocket ship.
Yeah, probably not. So not only was the first, intersolar system art displayed on the moon, but the first dick pics.
Yeah, and my also my thought is that if this is what the I don't know what they expected this was going to do, but I'm kind of imagining it being like the Carl Sagan golden disc that goes out, like, and they're like, if any alien life form wants to find out what art's about, and from Earth,
when the Earth has been destroyed and the moon has been knocked free from its orbit, and it's just a lone lump of rock swirling through the galaxy, and some alien race finds it.
Yeah.
Luckily, they'll be able to see that part of our anatomy that we're also very proud of.
Yeah, apparently. And a line, which...
Now, Spencer, is that line art?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Thanks for listening. Want to pursue more trivialities? Find every full episode and show notes at pursuitofthetrivial.wordpress.com. Listen to Matt's music at mattcarrollmusic.com. Check out Spencer's art blog at spencerroeder.com. As for me, I'm David C. Robertson, and you can see my original sketch, comedy, and web series, many of which feature Matt and Spencer, at maladjusted.tv.